This is Open Mat MMA. Today we're going over some UFC 288 fight predictions, break down some free bets for my gamblers out there. Starting off the card, we got Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz. So Daniel Santos is the mini Charles Oliveira, and I got him winning. So he's 1-1 in the UFC. He has good pressure from what I've seen from him. He throws looping punches that's powerful, which he definitely got to clean up if you want to be in the UFC for a long time. And Johnny Munoz is 2-2. So Johnny Munoz looks like he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he uses it. He grapples a lot, try to hold the fight down and control him. He got to control Daniel Santos, but Daniel Santos got really good scrambles from the bottom. So it'd be interesting to see who implements their game plan. I think Daniel Santos is taking the fight. I think he will finish Johnny Munoz. So I seen Daniel Santos go through adversity in one of his fights. Let me see who it was against. It was against Julio Arce. He went through adversity, overcame, won against Johnny Casadena. He got the finish. And then he's not easy to finish. He's been hurt in the octagon. He came back and won. His cardio is good. He goes forward all the time, which would be good. For Johnny Munoz, you got to look for straight punches, defense, and head kicks, because Daniel Santos got hit with a head kick in one of his fights. But I don't think Johnny Munoz can do that. Daniel Santos is a minus 174 favorite. I went off FanDuel for all my odds. So, yeah, that's the first fight. Next, we got Joseph Ugly Man Holmes. And we got Claudio Ribeiro. I got Claudio Ribeiro winning that fight. I think Joseph Holmes, he's tall. He has the reach. He has to use that. He has to get off the cage. He's never been knocked out, which is a good thing he got going for him. But he's been finished by sub before. He's 1-2 in the UFC. He needs to throw knees in order to beat not Santos, but Claudio Ribeiro. Claudio Ribeiro got really good calf kicks and leg kicks, so just do that, especially against a taller fighter. And then he got to get his game plan going and then work on his defense for strikes. I don't think that fight will go to distance either. So if you want to place a little bet in, you don't want to choose a fighter, then that's a good bet. I don't think it'll go to distance. Next, we got Zhumagulov versus Rafael Estevam. So, honestly, Rafael, it wasn't too much footage coming out of him because he's coming from LFA and he's on the Contender Series. So he looked good though in this Contender Series fight. I think he gets the win. I think if he can, he's a really good wrestler. I think he can wrestle him, and he got powerful strikes. Zhalgas, he's got like 5 decision losses. Let me just verify to make sure. I think he's getting that point fighting mindset, and I don't think that's good for him. He got 4 decision losses. He got finished once. I think he got finished by Manuel Cape, but yeah, he did. So I think he just gotta loosen up. Like you could get cut from the UFC if you lose this fight. So this the fight. You gotta go out there and go get it. You need to finish. But I got the favorite winning. So Zhalgas is a plus 120 favorite. Rafael's a minus 162 favorite. I think that fight can go to distance because of the wrestling style, and then Zhalgas being a point fighter. Next, we got Ikram Aliskerov versus Phil Hawes. So Ikram is a minus 220 favorite. Phil Hawes is a plus 168 underdog. So Phil Hawes, he has the recipe to stop the Dagestan wrestling. He's a really good wrestler, really powerful. Cardio a little iffy though, and that's in my opinion. So he looked good aesthetically. He got the nice body. He got the power to back it up. He got the jab, keeping the range on the feet. I know it's not much of a difference when it comes to the reach. He got like an 1.5 inch reach advantage, but he gotta keep it out that wrestling range. Because I think if Ikram get him down on the ground, I honestly think he can finish Phil Hawes, and I got him winning. I got Ikram winning that fight. I gotta actually. I think he could sub him or finish him on the ground. I got that fight not going the distance either, though. I think they're both looking to finish. So this next fight, we got Parker Porter versus Braxton Smith. Parker Porter is the minus 186 favorite, and Braxton Smith is the plus 144 underdog. So Braxton Smith, nicknamed the Beautiful Monster, he's 5-1. He hasn't lost since 2014 against Chase Sherman. My problem with Braxton Smith has all the right on the world to finish this guy. He got I think 5 first round finishes or 4. My problem with Braxton Smith is I do not understand. I'm not trying to be rude, but I just don't understand why he is fighting a guy who's 500 in the UFC, who's 3-3. I don't understand it. Because Braxton Smith is 33. Parker Porter 38. Parker Porter he has the ability to, because Braxton Smith got crazy power. He got one punch knockouts, head kicks. Parker Porter does have the skill set to just press him up against the cage and nullify that, though. It's hard I didn't pick a note and put in my notes a winner, but I will say, honestly, the fight is going to be a first round finish for Braxton Smith, or it's going to be a decision for Parker Porter. Whoever y'all think will win, y'all place those bets in and let me know how I do. I'm not going to, if I had to bet in that fight, I'd go Braxton Smith, though, because Parker Porter got beat pretty early by Justin Tafa. There's nobody to be mad at, but you know what happened. Next, we have Maria Rodriguez versus Virna. Let me see if I pronounce her name. Virna Jandiroba. Sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, ma'am. So, Maria Rodriguez, 5 decision wins. Virna, when she lost by decision. So I got Maria Rodriguez winning that fight. She's 6-2-2 in the UFC. Virna, she is, let me double check. I think she's 4-3. She's 4-3 in the UFC. All 3 decision losses. I got Marina winning that fight. Next, we got Khaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya. So, this fight, little confused. Rolando Bedoya, he should not be getting this guy for his first UFC fight. He's 14-1. Come from a regional circuit in Peru, I believe, or one of the countries in the surrounding area. He's from Peru. My problem with this guy, his stand-up does not look very strong. Like, he's Brazilian, he's 14-1, got a nice record, but Khaos Williams possesses some power. So I think you can make some money on the fight. Khaos Williams is a minus 340 favorite. Rolando Bedoya is a plus 250 favorite, underdog. So I actually got Khaos Williams winning that fight. I think it's going to be a first-round KO. I seen Rolando Bedoya be a little lazy on the feet and get tagged by some non-UFC material guys. So I think, and Khaos Williams got some crazy power. He knocked out some badasses, man. He knocked out Bedoya Aliskerov, first round. Alex Morano, first round. The guy can finish you. He's gonna finish. I think he's gonna finish early. I think he hit that win in the first 2 minutes of the fight too. Call me crazy, but that's what I got. Next we got Devin Clark versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. So I got Kennedy Nzechukwu winning. Kennedy Nzechukwu is Kennedy is a minus 215 favorite, and Devin Clark is a plus 164 favorite. So Devin Clark, he's about 500 in the UFC. He needs to wrestle, tire Kennedy out. Don't exchange with Kennedy because Kennedy is tall and he is powerful. And then you can't let Kennedy get confident, because when he get confident, he on his feet a little lighter. He's throwing some elbows, throwing some knees. Kennedy, I think he gets that finish. Honestly, I don't think that fight will go the distance. He's got to stuff that takedown to create that distance. He's tall for light heavyweight. I think let me just verify. I believe he's 6'5". He is 6'5", about 6'4", 6'5", 83-inch reach. So that's the way to go. Next we got Dober versus Matt Frevola. So this is the last fight on the prelims. Matt Frevola, they both got that, kill or be killed style, which is gonna make for a exciting fight for the fans. But that's not gonna be it's gonna be a good fight for the fans, but it ain't gonna be a good fight for the fighters, for their brains. But I got Dober winning that one. He's a minus 225 favorite and a plus 172 underdog for Matt Frevola. He got power. He finishes people, but Dober does too. I think it's gonna be a slugfest. Dober took some major punishment for guys like Bobby Green, from guys like Rafael Alves. He scorched Terrence McKinney. So I think, and Terrence McKinney scorched Matt Frevola. I don't believe in MMA math. I'm just that's a common opponent. I'm just putting it out there. So I got Dober winning that fight by KO, and I do not think that will go. I'd say first or second round KO, in my opinion. So next we got Gracie versus Jourdain. So my question is, first off, where Gracie been? And for my gamblers, we've been taking favorites. This one, Gracie is a plus 164 underdog, which is not crazy underdog. And Jourdain is a minus 215 favorite. Hey, I got Gracie winning. The Jourdain, he's about 48% takedown accuracy, about 50. Let's go say 50% takedown defense, 50% takedown defense. So he can stop one but give one up. Once Gracie shoots an efficient takedown, gets to the ground, I think he can tap out Jourdain. Shane Burgos was hanging on his back, Jourdain. So if Gracie hang on his back, I don't think it will. I think he can finish him. So that's who I got winning that fight. So next we got Evloev versus Bryce Mitchell. So we got Movsar, 16-0, undefeated prospects, 6 decision fights in the UFC. The guy is a point fighter, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's won the decision all his fights in the UFC. So the most of his wins are by decision, but he does it very well. He strikes, stays on the outside. He can definitely outstrike Bryce. Movsar is a minus 290 favorite, and Bryce is a plus 275 underdog. Bryce Mitchell, I would like to see how he comes back from losing to Eli Topuria, but he's fighting two killers back to back. I think Jonathan St. Pierce would have beat him too, but Bryce Mitchell, he beat Charles Oliveira. I mean, not Charles Oliveira, but Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza just scorched another contender. So like, Bryce Mitchell got a good win, but I don't think he can out wrestle Movsar, and I don't think he outstrike him. And I don't think he has the power to put him away with one shot. So I honestly don't see him winning. I think it'll go to distance, though. I do think that. So I got Movsar winning via decision. Next, we got Jessica Andrade versus Xiaonan Yan. So the longest Jessica Andrade, she been around a while. She's got 10 losses, but she only lost to some really, really, really high-level people. I don't know if Yan has that capability to beat her, just being honest here. Yan has no finishes in the UFC. You need to try to submit Jessica Andrade. So I think Aaron Blanchfield submitted her last, and then she lost to some. Other than that, she lost to champions as a recent. So I don't think that's nothing to be mad at. Jessica Andrade has crazy KO power. So I think that fight. I don't think that fight will go to distance. So keep an eye on that, not going to a distance. Next we got Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. I didn't write a lot of notes for this because I'm familiar with watching them. So Belal Muhammad is a high-level wrestler. He actually improved his striking a lot, and especially against Sean Brady and Vicente Luque. He didn't. I think Vicente. So Gilbert Burns is the favorite at minus 140, and Belal Muhammad is the dog at 110 plus 110. Call me crazy. I have Belal Muhammad because he's a dog. Because the fight's so even. So what nullifies strong jiu-jitsu? Really good wrestling. Gilbert Burns, sure he has power, but he couldn't really put away an old Masvidal. I didn't like he looked good in that fight. Don't get me wrong. So he's not gonna be able to do what he did to Neil Magny to Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad might not pose a threat with his wrestling against Gilbert Burns because of how good his jiu-jitsu is. But Belal Muhammad's really, really high IQ in the cage. I think if he could stand in front of Vicente Luque, I think he can stand in front of Gilbert Burns. And it's not because he's taking the shots per se. He's just being smart about it. And I think that's what gets him the decision victory. I don't think he could finish Gilbert Burns. But if Belal Muhammad come off the couch, he came off the couch to take this fight on short notice. If he come off the couch out of shape, which I want to say he did because at first he said he couldn't make the weight. But he did make the weight. But if he looks good, I think he can win. Like, if he looks good on the weigh-ins, he feels good, I think he can win. If you're 100%, I think he can win. But Gilbert Burns, he's been fighting, he's been active. So keep an eye on that. If Gilbert Burns was the underdog, I'd probably take Gilbert Burns. I will stay away from this fight betting. But, yeah. Next we got Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo for the 135 strap. We got Triple C coming back from a 3-year retirement. And we got Aljamain Sterling looking to defend his belt again. So I'm gonna do a quick tell of the tape for this fight. We got they're near even betting odds. They actually are even -113 for both. That's from FanDuel. So Henry is 36 years old. That worries me because I seen a stat that said like the two fighters over 35, the winning title fights was Tyron Woodley. And the 2 wins, the other one was just full of losses. Like it's like over 10 losses, but two wins. And Tyron Woodley had both of those wins. But Aljamain fighting in his hometown. He's taller, longer reach. Henry Cejudo, I think this would be both of their toughest matchup. I think Jan might have been a little tougher for Aljamain in the first fight, but he won by DQ. But I think this is both of their toughest matches. I got Aljo. I think that layoff would be a little, I think Henry got to, get back in the cage with that layoff. He got a little out of shape while he's out of the cage. He's very smart, but when you're smart and you get hit the wrong way, you kind of like you're out of it, so maybe not be able to use that fight IQ. But I think Aljo can stay on the outside and do some good things. Aljo is a killer. People forget that. So another wrestling versus jiu-jitsu matchup. So Henry has strong wrestling, an Olympic champion at the age of 21. And Aljo, he has really good wrestling. Henry got great wrestling, but Aljo got really good wrestling. But I think Aljo uses jiu-jitsu in a good way to get dominant position. I think that's the key to winning. So I got Aljo winning that fight. That's my UFC 288 fight breakdown and predictions. I am 72% on my fight record, so my prediction record. So I think that gives me a little credit. But this is Open Mat MMA. Enjoy the card, and I'm out.